bit deeper then into the neuroscience of conflict. And as we've already discussed, having a personal view that differs radically from others is a common cause of conflict. And we know from studies in the field of decision making and self-regulation that we have two systems for processing information, and both of these systems can have negative or positive impact upon our thinking. So when interpersonal conflict occurs, our instinctive, fast, non-conscious, automated thinking is activated milliseconds before any conscious cognitive decision making is possible. Now, this is really helpful when it's around an instinctive survival decision. For example, in those kind of life or death moments, such as stepping out into the middle of the road. However, it's possibly not so helpful in conflict situations at work. Those of you who are regular attendees at our webinar will have heard us speak many times about the human brain's primary driver being survival and taking action to keep us safe. We've spoken about the brain's natural negative bias. Whenever there's even the smallest doubt or uncertainty about a situation, if the brain is not certain the situation is safe, a threat response will be triggered. The threat response is our system 1, fast, instinctive, survival-driven thinking. So relating this back to conflict, the brain perceives conflict as a potential threat and will therefore trigger what it believes to be an appropriate system 1 response, which potentially could actually lead, in the terms of a conflict situation, to an escalation of the situation. However, system 2 thinking is also not without risk in a conflict situation. If we activate our deliberate conscious thinking network in an effort to regulate our emotions and our response, to be able to actually respond rather than reacting, because the system 2 network is resource intense, it consumes all the available oxygen and glucose, and that then may limit our ability for further objective and dispassionate analysis, make it even harder to maintain rational thoughts and decision making as we go forward. When we don't understand how the human brain works, it's very easy to take it for granted. After all, it's a very powerful organ. But what we forget is that it does have limits. And sometimes, to perform at our best, we need to be a bit more respectful of how our brains work. And we need to have a more awareness of how we need to look after and nourish our brain. The good news is, however, that not everyone has to agree on everything all the time. Successful teams need some degree of managed conflict to be able to critically evaluate all the diverse perspectives and great ideas that are put forward. So when conflict does occur in the workplace, it's important to be able to identify the source of the conflict and differentiate between that conflict resulting from interpersonal differences and conflict arising from the job or the task, so that we can then start to apply the appropriate resolution strategies.